Hi everyone, it's story time again. I'm going to be reading to you from classic fairy tales, retold and illustrated by Michael Foreman. And today's fairy tale is an oldie but goodie, The Ugly Duckling. The Ugly Duckling. It was glorious out in the countryside. It was high summer, and the corn was beginning to turn golden. The hay had been cut and put up in stacks in the meadows, and there the storks strutted about on their long red legs and chattered in Egyptian. All around the fields were great woods, and hidden in the cool shade lay pools and deep lakes. An old castle, ringed around by its deep moat, lay bathed in sunshine. Between the thick crumbling walls and the edge of the moat, there grew a forest of burdock plants so high that a child could stand under them and imagine he was in the middle of the wild wood. Here a duck had built her nest. She was feeling rather sorry for herself sitting there, waiting for her eggs to hatch. It was taking an awfully long time, and nobody came to visit her. The other ducks preferred swimming about and gossiping. Finally, though, one eggshell began to crack. Peep, peep, they cried as one by one little creatures stuck out their heads and blinked in the light. Quack, quack, said their mother. Look around you, and the little ducklings looked around. How big the world is, piped the young ones, and shook off their remains of their little shells. Do you think this is all the world? Quacked their mother. No, it is much larger than this. It stretches right across the water and into that field. Now, are you all ready? The duck got up and turned to look into her nest. There sat the biggest egg, still unhatched. Oh no, said Mother Duck gloomily. I'm fed up with sitting around. How long is this going to take? And she sat back down. The next day, an old duck decided to come visiting. Well, how's it going? She asked, admiring the little ducklings, snuggling close to their mother. Oh, don't ask, groaned Mother Duck. My biggest egg just won't crack. But just look at the others. Aren't they the best looking little ducklings you've ever seen? All the very image of their father, the rascal, who hasn't come to visit me once. Let's have a look at this egg then, said the old visitor. Mother Duck shuffled to the side, and the visitor peered closely at the offending egg. It's a turkey egg, she said confidently. Just ignore it. Let it lie there. Go and teach your little ones how to swim. I think I'll sit on it just a little longer, said Mother Duck, not wanting to abandon the egg despite its reluctance to hatch. I've sat here so long that I suppose I can manage another day or two. Suddenly, the great egg burst with a loud crack. Peep, peep, cried the young one and stumbled out. He was big and very ugly. The Mother Duck was shocked. He's awfully big, she thought. Perhaps he really is a turkey. There's one way to sure find out. Come along, children, and she waddled to the edge of the moat. Splash! She jumped into the water, and one duckling after another plunged in. The big ugly one stood on the edge for a moment. Then he too went in with a great splash and swam beautifully. No, that's no turkey, quacked Mother Duck. Look how well he uses his legs and how straight he holds his neck. He is my own child. And he is quite handsome in an odd sort of way. Quack, quack! Now follow me. and I'll take you to the farmyard and introduce you to everyone. Walk nicely and keep close together, and watch out for the cat." When they arrived at the farmyard, there was a tremendous commotion going on. Two families of ducks were squabbling over some scraps, and the cat ran off with them anyway. "That naughty old cat," sighed the mother duck. "Now be sure to bow to that old duck over there. She is the grandest of all here, and see the red ribbon tied around one of her legs? That shows that she is to be respected by everyone." "Quack, quack!" "Don't walk, waddle. Turn your toes out, stick your bottoms out, and waddle like good ducks should." And so Mother Duck and her children waddled over and bowed politely to the duck with the red ribbon. The ducks who had been involved in the commotion now turned their attention to the newcomers. "Who are this lot?" they said quite rudely. "There are enough of us here already trying to feed our families. We don't want more moving in. And look how ugly that one is," quacked another. "We don't want him here. He'll eat up everything in a second and scare the little ones." He flew up and pecked the ugly duckling sharply. "Leave him alone," cried Mother Duck. "He's done no harm to anyone." "He doesn't even look like a duckling," replied the duck who had pecked him, "and that's reason enough to peck him." "You have lovely ducklings," quacked the old duck with the red ribbon, "and their behavior does you credit. But the big one didn't turn out very well." "He lay too long in the egg, I think," answered the mother duck. "But he swims beautifully and has a friendly character. Besides, he is a drake, and so good looks are not so important. He is strong and will make his way in the world." "Well, the others are fine," said the old duck. "Make yourself at home, and if you find any scraps, you may bring them to me." And so Mother Duck and her family set up home in the farmyard, but the ugly duckling was teased by most of the ducks and all the chickens. The big turkey cock strutted over and flashed his spurs and shouted "Gobbledygook" at him. The poor ugly duckling didn't know what to do. He was mocked and laughed at by the whole farmyard. So it went the first day, and afterwards it became worse and worse for the ugly duckling. His own brothers and sisters were embarrassed by him and grew angry. "If only the cat would carry you off," they said heartlessly. Even his mother grew to regret staying on her nest. "If you were not here, we could get on with our lives in peace," she thought secretly. The duckling became more and more miserable. At last, he decided to run away. He rushed through the hedge, disturbing all the little birds who flew up into the air. "They are flying away because I am so ugly," he thought sadly. Finally, he came to a great marsh where the wild ducks lived, and he stayed for the night, tired, cold, and very lonely. In the morning, he was found by the wild ducks. "What sort of bird are you?" they asked rather rudely. The duckling bowed to them and tried to be as polite as possible. "I am a duck," he explained. "You are too ugly to be a duck," laughed the wild ducks. The duckling wished they would go away. All he wanted was to be allowed to live in peace, swim among the reeds, and drink a little water when he was thirsty. He stayed 2 days in the marsh. Then 2 wild geese came. They were both young and rather brash and cheeky. "Listen," said one of the geese. "Even though you're amazingly ugly, we like you. Come, fly with us. There's a marsh not far from here where some friends of ours live. We can go have some fun with them, And you never know, it could change your life, ugly though you are. Bang! Bang! Suddenly, 2 shots were heard, and both geese fell down dead, their blood turning the water red. Bang! Bang! 2 more shots, and a flock of wild geese flew up. Bang! Bang! The whole marsh was surrounded by hunters, and from every direction came the awful noise of gunfire. The blue smoke from the guns drifted like a fog over the water, and hunting dogs came splashing through the marsh. The little duckling was terrified. He was about to tuck his head under his wing and try to hide, when he saw a huge dog peering down at him with eyes mad with excitement. The dog bared its great teeth, and then splash, splash, on it went without touching the duckling. Oh, thank heavens, thought the duckling. I am so ugly that even the dog doesn't want me. The little duckling lay quietly while the shots whistled through the reeds. At last, late in the day, the shooting stopped, and the hunters and dogs splashed away, and the silence returned to the marsh. Still, the little duckling was too frightened to move, and waited several hours before taking his head out from under his wing. Then he hastened away out of the marsh and across a wide, desolate moor. I'm going to stop there, and then we're going to continue with part 2. And I want you to think, what do you think is going to happen next with the ugly duckling? To be continued. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.